Today we're going to talk about how you can write songs with an Ample Guitar VST using a simple method to emulate the movements of the fretting hand and the movements of the strumming hand. And this is what we're going to play. So in Ample Suund, song editing is made simple thanks to the riffer or the strummer view. Just draw some chords and notes in the interface and voila, we have a song. But for serious songwriting, we might need to step it up a notch. And because writing songs with an Ample Guitar VST should be no different from writing a song with a real guitar, then two very important things are to be taken into consideration. First, the fretting hand, that is to say the hand that moves along the fretboard, is the one responsible for choosing notes. So to create a song with an ample guitar, we need to choose our chords wisely. Secondly, it is the strumming hand that actually generates the sounds of the chords. So our objective in this video will be to help you to find the right strum pattern to make your chord progression come into life. So this video will be divided into two parts. First, we'll work on how to choose a chord progression, and then we'll see how to design an efficient and simple strum pattern in your favorite Ample Guitar VST. So just stick around. So let's start with the fretting hand. We said our objective was to generate the chords, but then how can we make sure to select the right ones? The fact is that most chord progressions are built following what is called the major scale. According to the theory, if we play any note, say a C1 note, then by following a set of intervals, we'll be able to find all the notes that a song can contain. And those intervals are the following: tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 and semitone. So if we stay with the C note, then by following those intervals we find D, because that note is one tone above the C, then E, F, because that note is one semitone above the E, G, A, B, and C. And that way we generate a scale which provides us with every single note that we can play when we start a song with a C major. Now, what if those notes were turned into chords? The only issue we have here is that we do not know yet if those chords are major or minor chords. So how can we know that? Well, I'm going to show you a little trick. So if we start a song with a C major, and if we go to an A major, we might have a problem. Why? Because one of the notes contained in the A major is not part of the C major scale. That note is the C sharp right here. In contrast, if I play an A minor, it will be fine because all of the notes of the A minor are contained in the C major scale. Those notes are A, E, A, C, and E. And if we repeat that exercise for all the notes, then we find that for any song in C major, we can play a D minor, an E minor, an F major, a G major, an A minor, and a B diminished. So now, for the purpose of this video, we'll go with a C major, an E minor, and an A minor. And now let's see what we can do with the strumming hand. So when we start designing strum patterns, we might not know where to start. A really cool and easy thing to do would be to play a root note, then a downstroke. If I go to the E minor, and with the A minor, root note, I wait for one beat, and then I do a downstroke. Nothing complicated, but it already sounds sweet. Now, to fill up the empty parts of the measures, we might be able to do a root note again, but then an upstroke, and quite faster, just like this. So let's see how it sounds in Ample Suund. So as a reminder, we want a root note, a downstroke, a root note, and an upstroke. Just make sure that your Ample Suund VST riff quantization value is set at 1/16, that the time signature is set at 4/4, that the tempo is set at 60 BPM, and that you have 2 measures in the grid. Also make sure to have the strum library loaded, that you have selected the small room reverb presets, and very important, go back to the main view and just select the capo 3. Alright, root note. So let's insert a C2 note. Let's extend it. We want it to last 1 beat. Then let's insert a C chord. Then root note again. This time it must be very short. And just go with another C chord. But this time we want it to be strummed upward. So just go above in the toolbar and select up. Then we switch chords, so let's insert a root note, which is in that case an E1 note. Let's insert an E minor chord, then root note, and E minor chord again. And again, we want it to be strummed upward. Last chord then, the A minor. Again, root note, chord, we want an A minor played in the first position, root note and chord, the latter being strummed upwards. Then we can just copy paste what we just did. So copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, and paste. But instead of a last upstroke, we can just play a B note to ease the transition to the C major. And let's listen to that. So it sounds quite bad, isn't it? That is because we didn't think about what would happen on a real guitar. The first question we can ask ourselves would be, is the guitarist plucking all the strings of the chord? If I play the C major with all the chords, it's going to sound just like this. But if I miss the last string, the E string, it's going to sound softer, just like this. And if I play the song again, here's the difference. With all the strings, and if I miss the last one. And it sounds softer. And that is exactly what we want in Ample Suund. So in Ample Suund, just delete the last note of the 2 C chords. And do the same for the 2 E minor chords, just like this. And because we might want that upstroke to be even softer, we might want to erase the B2 notes. In the second measure, we might also want the E3 of the first upstroke of the A minor chords to disappear. And to make it more lively, we might want the root note to be duplicated right here, copy, paste, and the same with the second A1 note, copy and paste. Now let's think about the velocities. One thing is certain with the guitar, it's always easier to strum downward than to strum upward. And for this reason, all the upstrokes should be of a lesser intensity than the downstrokes. So in Ample Suund, what we can do is to decrease all the velocities of the upstrokes down to 60, the E minor and the A minor. And we can also do the same with the second root notes that we play at the ends of each measures. And it's already gonna sound much better. Finally, one very important thing to do is to mute the strings when you switch chords. Indeed, if I play the C major, and if I go to the E minor, I wouldn't like the notes of the C major, the previous chord, to keep on ringing while I'm playing the E minor. So one thing we do is to use the palm of our hand to mute the strings when we switch chords. And this is exactly what we need to do in Ample Suund. So in Ample Suund, what we can do is to put a silent press at the start of each chord, then copy, paste, and paste here. And it's going to sound much more natural. Right, I hope you enjoyed the video, give it a like if you did, and subscribe to the channel because a lot more content is on the way.